Hi guys, my name is Martino Rapella. I work as a business sustainability consultant for Lift Technologies Inc. We are based in Westminster, South Carolina. We manufacture mats for forklifts, and tomorrow I have a presentation in front of my co-workers, and I have to explain why recycling is important and why we should do it. But since I have to present it anyway tomorrow to them, I figure why not make it public, and just because I think there are a lot of valuable information that should be shared to everybody. So, recycling. We have three goals here. The first one is to reflect on our impacts. The second one is to inform and to make the right choices. And the third one is to change our habits. So what does recycling mean? I think we all have a general idea of what recycling is, but let's define it, all right? So the recycling is the action or process of converting waste into reusable material. So what we are having, what most of us are doing is we have a linear economy. A linear economy is where resources are taken, they are used to make a product, and then the product is simply disposed either by dumping it in the ocean, burning it, or sending it to a landfill. This is all. What we are trying to achieve here is to have a circular economy in which a product is made, it is used, and then it is recycled. Because don't forget it, what is waste for us can be a resource for others. So in this type of economy, there is no waste. So why is recycling important? Well, to understand why recycling is important, we have to understand where we are right now. My company, like many others, produce a lot of waste, and unfortunately this waste is not well managed. We produce 166 tons of trash that ended up in the landfill just in the year 2018. We are really trying to bring down this number. So 166 tons of waste. Let's be transparent. How much is 166 tons of waste? Well, let's put things in perspective. 166 tons of waste weigh as 5.7 million Coca-Cola bottles. So the graph here shows how we in the United States have managed our waste since the 1960 to the year 2015. Now it's important to say that in the year 1960 the population was 180 million compared to the 320 million that we had in 2015. So exactly like half. But all things considered, we live in a more wasteful society. Our waste per person increased by 70%, even though we recycle more. So, if we look inside a trash bin, what are we going to find really? Well, 26% is paper and paperboard, 15% is food, and 13% is plastic. All these three things combined constitute more than 50% of what we find in a trash bin. So where does our trash goes, right? Well, here in South Carolina, our trash mostly ends up in a landfill, at least where I am right now. What is a landfill? Well, a landfill is just a cemetery for trash. In here, trash arrives, stays there on the surface, and over time it gets buried underground. Now, what happened when you bury it? Well, this is a lovely sunset. What happened when you buried it underground? Well, many things happen. We are gonna go over it. But just so you know, a landfill is not a place designed to break down waste. In here, trash arrives and it gets buried. And when when the trash gets buried, it doesn't get any oxygen or sun. So decomposition does not happen here. And when trash is buried, three major things happen: toxin, leachate, and greenhouse gases. We are not going to discuss too much about greenhouse gases. It has been majorly politicized in the United States for a reason, but we won't go over it too much. Let's talk about toxins. Well, many materials that end up in a landfill contains toxic materials. Over time, these toxin leach into the soil, and they pollute the water and the environment, the surrounding environment. Same thing with leachate. Leachate is basically that nasty liquid that you see in the picture, and it's so harmful. And over time, again, like toxins, find its own way to the ground and pollute the soil and the water. And the third one is greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases are just gases that are really good at trapping the heat from the sun and warming up our planet. Now, some are present naturally, but it's very abnormal the amount of greenhouse gases that we are experiencing right now. Well, those gases that are produced in the landfill, they are also called landfill gases, and are mostly carbon dioxide, CO2, and methane. Now, I want to stress how methane is 32 times stronger than CO2, than carbon dioxide at trapping the heat. So even like a small quantity is highly disruptive. So the picture here shows you how our modern landfill work. The gray pipes that you see in the picture, those are called collection system. They help landfills collecting all those landfill gas that are produced from the trash. And these landfill gases, after they are collected, they are used to produce electricity. Yeah, all right, cool. But how good are those landfills at collecting it? Well, they're not really that great. Roughly 60% of the methane gets captured, and 40% ends up in the atmosphere, warming up our atmosphere. It's important to say that humans have produced so much CO2 that there is 30% more CO2 in the air today compared to what we had 150 years ago. Those two pictures are taken from the NASA website. They show you how since the 1884 we have warmed up our planet. It's kind of scary, especially because this process is exponential. Since the 1975 we warmed up our planet by 3 degrees Fahrenheit, and it won't stop there. So deforestation, I'm gonna talk about deforestation in my presentation tomorrow, just because inside the office we use a lot of copy paper. We should really try to avoid using that much copy paper, and just because if you use paper, you're supporting deforestation. We are losing 18.7 million acres of forest annually. Yeah, alright, cool, but how much is 18.7 million acres of forest annually? Well, let's put things in perspective again. Let's imagine a soccer field. Well, we are losing 27 soccer fields per minute. Scary. So let's talk about the benefits of recycling. We have many benefits. They go from environmental to financial and social. Let's talk about the environmental one. I listed the main environmental benefits. They go from less waste sent to the landfill, less pollution of local water and soil. We have less emission, we use less raw material, and we are mitigating higher temperatures and natural disaster. Now let's talk about the financial benefits. What we don't send to the landfill, we are able to recycle it. And in many cases, we can sell those recyclables. So we have a scenario where our revenues go up. Also, we have less waste to send to the landfill. So that means that people have to come less time to pick up our trash, so our hauling costs, our transportation goes down, as well as the landfill goes down, because we have less trash to dump in the landfill. So we have a scenario where our revenues goes up and our cost goes down. In here, that's our opportunity. We also have social benefits. Recycling could be one of the most patriotic things you could ever do, just because you keep your land, water, and the air that you love clean, safe, and beautiful. You also create new jobs. On an average of 10,000 tons of waste, you create one job. Only one job if you burn it, 6 jobs when you send it to a landfill, and 36 jobs when you recycle it. Go recycling, right? So just in the year 2000, we recycle over, just in the year 2000, we employed 1.1 million people, producing a payroll of 37 billion. That's massive. We are also supporting a circular economy. We distance ourselves from that old linear economy mentality. We support a circular economy where there is no waste. Because again, what is our waste could be a resource for some other companies. We also improve company image. It's cool to work for a company that cares. You boost employee morale. You increase customer loyalty. You promote change at home, and it is linked to a lower staff turnover. So how and what can we recycle? This gets a little bit tricky because we really have to pay attention that our materials doesn't get contaminated. With contamination, I mean material in the wrong recycling bin. It happens a lot of times, especially with paper. So when we have food in the paper bin, that's contamination. When we have plastic bottles, so plastic in the paper bin, that's contamination. Again, if you're not sure, throw it in the trash. When contamination happens, the whole batch is unusable and becomes trash. So we have a scenario where our cost goes up because we have to send it to the landfill and we have to pay the transportation, and our revenues goes down because we have less to sell. So what can we recycle? Well, we can recycle pretty much anything at home, but we're going to focus on, at least the company I work for, we are going to focus on recycling mixed paper and cardboard, which constitute 26% of what we find in a trash bin. We're gonna recycle aluminum, we're gonna recycle plastic, mostly bottles, jugs, and jars, and then we're gonna recycle the cigarette butts. So mixed paper and cardboard, let's talk about that. You can see in the picture how we have like different items we can recycle, pretty much anything, but the important thing is that those items are clean and dry, so no food on it, so no napkins, and free from soil. So all the cardboard that you see here, you see the pizza box, it can be a little bit confusing, but that pizza box is clean, doesn't contain any food. So no paper towels, no tissues or food wrapping. So aluminum, we are doing already a great job recycling this. We send our aluminum cans to the Ronald McDonald House. They use it to raise money for charities and support good causes. We are already doing it, so let's keep doing it. Plastic, I'm gonna spend a little bit of time talking about plastic just because we have to understand what it is and what it does. Well, plastic is a chemical material. That means that it is made in labs. There are no plastic trees around. It is made from oil, so it is made from petroleum. So oil companies are behind plastics. And guess what? There are a couple of things that oil companies do not want you to know. Plastic is toxic. It is linked to cancer, birth defects, and impaired immunity. And it is also around us and inside us. We drink it, we eat it, and we breathe it. 94% of the tap water in the United States contains plastic. So if we can't stop using it, like Europe did just a couple of weeks ago, they banned all the single-use plastic. Great Europe. If we can stop using it, at least recycle it. So we're gonna recycle by shape. Unfortunately, around here in South Carolina, we are not surrounded by a lot of facilities that have high technologies to recycle different types of plastic. But what we can recycle, we're gonna do it. We're gonna recycle bottles, we're gonna recycle jars and jugs. It's important that you don't throw in the caps, because caps are made from different resins, called resins 1 through 7, than the plastic bottle. So no caps, please. No caps, no plastic bags or plastic foam. Just stick to what you see in the picture and we discussed. Alright, so now cigarettes. Cigarettes They are everywhere around us. In normal conditions, cigarettes take 1 to 5 years to decompose, but when we send it to the landfill, they take forever. So we already have a collection system in place at Leaf Technologies, but what we are going to do now is that we are going to collect it, and instead of sending it to a landfill, we are going to send it to this amazing company called TerraCycle. TerraCycle will separate the ashes and the tobacco from the filter, and those ashes and tobaccos are gonna be used for agricultural purposes, creating compost, while the butt is going to be used to create pallets and chairs. So again, in this type of economy, we have a circular economy. There is no waste, because again, waste for you can be resources for other companies. Everything else that we did not cover in this presentation ends up in a landfill. Plastic bags, wraps, food containers such as styrofoam containers, earplugs, cups, fork, knives, snack packages, they unfortunately will be dumped in a landfill for the moment. So conclusions. Recycling has many benefits. But it's not the only thing that we should try to do. We should try to reduce our consumption. We should try to reuse our resources and then recycle it. So I hope this was an informative time for you. I'll be explaining it tomorrow to my co-workers. Hope it goes well, and I hope you support recycling programs and initiatives around your city. Stay informed. We don't have much time, unfortunately. We are on a time clock, and again, I hope this help you make future choices, thinking about the impact that you have, and yeah, cool.